Dorothy with Dot Scrapbooking. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the first project of the new scrapbooking workshop in the July book called Cozy Up. So we're getting ready for the fall, which I love. So here's how I put it together with all the little details. Okay, here we are with the Cozy Up. These are the instructions, and I've already cut up the papers, so you'll just have to see the paper backgrounds as I go through the videos. So the first one we're going to do is the top one there, and this says the materials needed are, of course, the workshop, toffee, ink, Spiced Marmalade Distress Oxide, Sepia Pen, mini ink blending tool, a domed foam blending tool, and masking tape or sticky notes and some foam tape. Some of those things are optional. If you don't have the inks, then you can just do without that, and you can see where, the parts that will be missing, but it'll still be pretty. Now, the first thing we had to do was put together this striped background, and so I'm taking a piece of 12 by 12 white daisy cardstock, and I'm making a 2-inch border all around. So I'm just taking my ruler. Fortunately, it's 2 inches wide, so how perfect is that? And just making a box. So there we go. There's our box. And I'm going to use this as a guide for the strips. Now, the strips, I kind of panicked because there was a whole lot of strips and I hadn't cut. Oh, the other thing you get 3 sheets of embellishments. In this, there's normally just 2 per package. Well, you get a 3rd sheet that comes with it. Oh, and you also get, this is so cute. I'm going to be using this one. A, hard to see, a stencil with leaves and diamonds and dots and stuff. So anyway, that fall leaf pattern is going to come in handy. So as it turns out, they have a whole page, a whole die cut page. That's one of the papers, and the other side, the flip side. Isn't that cute? For people who like to stay in and read a book when it's getting fallish and chilly outside. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out all the project ones because there's a lot of pieces on here, and I don't want to pop them all out and get confused. So they're all marked as to what project they go with. So all sorts of little different shape pieces here. And then we've got the title and a big circle. And then see, it's a whole die cut sheet of strips. So most are for project 1, and the lines that are there and the dovetails show you where to cut. So that makes it real handy and kind of a no-brainer. So I'm putting the project 1s to the right, and then there's a few project 3s that I'm just putting up to the corner. See, that one has 3 pieces on the strip. And this was kind of this die cut sheet carrier was kind of a little bit harder to deal with. Anyway, I was just showing how that's one of the project 1 pieces, and that's where I'm going to be cutting it. So I like that they've done that. I don't remember them showing that before, so that's kind of a very handy thing when you're using strips like this and you want to make banners. So one more, and there we go. Yay, that's finished. Put that away. Okay, so I am just going in the order that it says here. So there's the first piece that I put down that I had to cut off from the main strip. So, and that one, the bigger longer slices going down towards the end. So some of these are a little hard to tell which goes where. And I'm trying to think that one brown one, I think I had a hard time finding where it goes. So I'm just going to put down, now that's a zip strip, so it looks perfect with that. I like that color too. I love the fall colors. So we have some that are hardly showing up at all, and those are those real light dotted patterns. The one brown strip that I was looking for, it looks like it's dots on the instructions, but actually it's a zip strip. So that's why I got confused. It's actually one of the zip strips. So, and I cut a smaller piece off to go down at the bottom. And they want you to space these about 1/4 of an inch apart. So I get close, is all I have to say. But I mean, you're going for the effect of the stripes, and that's the whole thing. So I'm kind of eyeballing. My eyeball wants to go to about 3/8 of an inch instead of, it wants to do a little bit less rather than a little bit more. So that's about 1/8 of an inch. So it's best to kind of put them down dry first so that you can kind of get an idea of, do a better job. So, because it's going to have to do with, how everything is spaced together and, what's left over at the end and what have you. So you want to make sure that you're kind of getting the right measurement. So we are moving along with these. The one thing I really like about the workshops is, number one, you've got everything in the package except for the adhesive and cutting tools. But it's, like, there's a lot of patterns I wouldn't put together, or there's a lot of ideas that I wouldn't come up with until, I see a workshop done. And, certainly this idea is something that could be used, for all of your papers. And so, you use your back and front of your background and texture papers that come in each kit. And it makes for a nice background for your pictures. So there's my zip strip. You don't have to use just exclusive papers. You can mix your background and texture papers with the cardstock that matches and use the dark and the light side, or you could even stamp some cardstock that coordinates and use that as a different pattern. So I'm just going through all of the instructions because there's actually quite a lot of instructions for this page. So I'm taking this is the glue remover tool, but it also erases better than erasers because it doesn't leave all that eraser shaving. So it's just kind of magical, and it just does such a beautiful job of getting rid of all of the pencil marks. So there's my background. That's my first part of project 1. Now I'm forewarning you here. I wasn't thinking, and when I put that down, I had the stripes going sideways. You can make the stripes on that biscuit colored paper go sideways or up and down, but try to make sure that both of your pages are going in the same orientation. I'm just saying it would be less annoying than to look at pages go in different directions. And so in the instructions, they have the paper going vertically. I needed to just turn that a 1/4 of a turn to the right or left. I don't know what to say about myself, but what can you say? Anyway, I'm putting dash lines using my sepia tone on these. And I'm just doing it freehand. It's just for the effect, to kind of match the lines that are going to go around the large frame. So these are the journaling strips to use. So it's kind of nice you have, a nice color journaling strip to put on your layout. And then, let's see, I'm just going through all the different instructions that you need. And then we've got these little pieces, and they also say to add dotted lines to this. Now, you don't have to put it on that end. I'm just saying that's going to get tucked under the paper. So don't even, I wouldn't even worry about that. So I'm just kind of using my 1/8 inch ruler to try to get things a little bit more in control here. But, really having a hard time figuring out what to do there. There we go. So I really would suggest just leaving the bottom off and give yourself a little bit less dash lines to do. This is the first time I've used my sepia pen. And I like it. I thought, I don't think I have the sepia pen. I'll just use the black. But as it turns out, I did have it. So yay. Yay for going through my all of my supplies and actually finding that I had something I didn't think I had. Oh, surprise, surprise. Okay. So I am going to do some sponging. And we're using the Spiced Marmalade Distress Oxide for this. And I'm going to use the domed foam for this. And I'm kind of going off the paper first and then spreading it around so that I don't, well, see, I did get a bit of a blob there. That's actually going to get covered up, fortunately. But you kind of want to start off the paper and then come on. And so we're just putting kind of a cloud of color in the top left and a cloud of color in the lower right. And that's going to be the backdrop for the embellishment groupings. And it really makes them stick out, and it enhances the whole embellishment. I hope I used the ruler. I think I used the ruler on this. Oh no, I'm going to do this first. Okay, so they are, one of the details is adding these diamonds to the backgrounds. And so we're going to use toffee ink. See, there it is. They're very, very light. It's just kind of a hint. I do a little bit more than a hint, but I'm going to take off the spice berry and add a foam. And they have it, I think there's 3. And what I decide to do is use another piece of masking tape to kind of cover up so I don't, accidentally get some color on, there we go. You don't have to put it on as dark as I'm putting it. So there's just kind of 3 there. So I have a lot more show than they did. And they have the diamonds going in a pattern of 3, I believe. And see, you've got, with that masking tape or Post-it notes if you want, you've got that space to kind of go over when you're doing this kind of thing so that you're not getting it on your paper. So there we have, mine really do stand out a whole lot more than they did in the instructions. So that masking tape is really good too. It doesn't stick much, which is the whole idea. It's so you can pull it off without ripping your paper. And so that's also available in our catalog at dorothy.closetomyheart.com. So the next thing is to spray with water. And I think I have too light of a spray. So I'm putting some dots of water down. And I wanted kind of a little bit more blobby look, but that's okay. There's a whole area on that right-hand one that's going to get covered. So I'm going to put my Tombow on the frame, and then I'm going to add it to the white daisy. So I kind of wish that I had paid attention to where things go, but what can you say? Okay, so I have the Tombow all over, but I'm just putting this down a little bit at a time and trying to make sure I adhere right to the edge of the white daisy. And there's the start of our page 1. So that's where we start off. Now these little flags, see, that's going to go down there and cover up a bunch of that area if I wasn't too happy with it. There's always a place for embellishment. So that's supposed to be a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, but I actually cut that piece 4 1/4 by 6 accidentally. And so I'll show you how I fix that. Could have just cut another piece, but I didn't. So I'm putting a 3 by 4 and a 4 by 6. And then I've got that big title that is going to go down at the bottom. And I'm going to pop it up and then just put it over the bottom of that picture. So now this picture kind of gets lined up parallel to the edge of the frame. And then this one goes a little askew. I really like that background. Just like that. So, and then we're going to put my circle down. And then I realize, okay, I need to put my dashed lines around. I could have done this before I glued it down, but it doesn't really make any difference. So I'm using my ruler for this because I want at least the line to be straight. I mean, the stitch marks aren't, perfect, but the line can at least be, somewhat straight. So it kind of makes for a faster work by using the ruler, I think. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not good at stitching. There we go. Okay. I'm good with that. Okay, now I'm going to put my little flag and tuck it under and kind of put it up there going into my color blob. And this was another piece that was cut for project 1, and that's, I think, Desert Rose. It looks like Desert Rose to me. So that's going up there too with the color cloud. I'm going to pop this up. This is what I was talking about. I'm going to pop it up with some fairly thick foam tape. So it is going to kind of float above that 4 by 6. And see, it doesn't interfere with putting a picture down, and it covers up the bottom part. So I'm happy with that. And then we've got, all sorts of embellishments to put on here. Now that was one of the little die cuts, and that was just an accent for the big title, which, is such a good, they always come up with these really, really good ideas. I just think, wow, I'm so glad people are good at art. So I can make my pages look artistic. Okay, and this is one of the die cuts. I went looking for it on the sticker sheet, but it was a die cut. And I'm going to go ahead and, pop it up also. put a little tiny piece on that teacup because it's kind of hanging out there by itself. Isn't that a cute stack of books? So just one more chapter, please. Man, that's, God, when I was in school, that was like, oh, don't talk to me, I'm reading. Back in the day. I don't read so much anymore. I think it's because my eyes are just, really need to go to the eye doctor. They've gotten bad enough, and I have enough floaters that it's really annoying to read. Just because I see all these things floating by. So I'm adding these wonderful little embellishments. They keep on getting stuck to my finger, and then I lose them. But I'm just putting a whole array of, I mean, they have quite a few on each little background. And another one. So I'm trying to use all the colors on there. So that's my first page. Okay, here's page 2. Now, if only I had just turned that paper, then I would have matched. But it's kind of, this is one place where I put everything down and realized what I had done, and it was too late to pull it all up. So, oh well, you know. You just can't beat yourself up. So I need to stop. Okay, I'm putting 2 4x4s down on this long strip that we cut. And then there's 2 3x4s. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And it goes like, 1 3/4 inch up from the bottom and like 1.5 inches over. But before you put anything down, you want to put down this border that is all books. So, yeah, it goes, that's actually the one that goes 1 3/4 up from the bottom. And I'm just cutting 1 inch off on either side. Actually, you could have just cut 2 inches off altogether. What can I say? So 1 3/4 inches, and then the strip goes 1 inch in from the side. So there's 1 inch and 1 3/4, and then we should have 1 inch on the other side. And then we put the picture frame down, and it's 1.5 inches from the bottom, so it hangs a little bit over the books, and 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches over from the side. So now I'm going to put these in place, and that's actually the right place to put it. I end up moving it for some reason. I think I was matching to the top. It should have stayed down towards the bottom, but I'll show you how I fixed that. Here we go, our 2 3x4s. And then I'm gonna do some masking so I can put some more color clouds down. I'm really enjoying doing these little clouds of color. Yeah, it's really effective too when you are putting a light embellishment on a light background, because sometimes they hardly even show up. And so if you have just a cloud of coordinating color going behind your embellishment cluster, then you can see the embellishments a lot better. So, and it just adds a lot of interest to your page. And, get to feel kind of artistic. So I'm adding the 3, they offset theirs a little bit, and I just put them in a straight line. but that's okay. But I did forget to put the ones over on the right-hand side. I forgot to put a couple of the diamonds over there. But that side gets pretty filled up with embellishments anyway. That's my excuse. And I'm just trying to make my banners here even. See, and it really, if I tuck that under, there we go. And then the little brown banners, the little mocha banners go under there to kind of highlight the point. It's too high. Then we do the same thing on the other side. So now what we're going to do are these dots. And we're going to make a line of dots along the bottom here. And I'm going to go ahead and put my masking tape down. See, I got to reuse that masking tape a bunch of times. And we're using spiced marmalade. So I would just say be very careful holding your dots, because you do have to move them. So the one thing you can do is overlap the last dot so that you can get a good line. And there we've got just a little dotted line. Now I end up putting that same dotted line under the 3x4 picture because there's a space there that's not supposed to be there. Now they have you cutting this title down. So your journaling strips go above, 2 of them go above. And then the first part of the title, Good Books, are. And then put another journaling strip down, like Best Friends. I could have put the journaling strip right under that picture too. But I think what I'm going to do, what I'm doing right now is adding the sticker embellishment. So we've got socks because, in the autumn it's going to get cool, so you want to have nice fuzzy warm socks on. I have many in my drawer. Even in Texas, my feet always get cold at night. And some little strips from the sticker sheet. And I have some more. See, I'm going to put that down there because that just kind of fills in that empty space that wasn't supposed to be there. This way it looks a little bit more intentional and it matches the other side. So I'm okay with that, And just kind of make it work. There we go. So empty space filled in. Okay, now I'm putting these wonderful little embellishments all around. And they're so tiny that, in all the different shapes, it just makes it really fun to mix and match all the different colors. I needed to take that piece of masking tape off because it can get inky because it's not going to dry as quickly. So I'm looking for the other sticker that goes there, and there's a small book, that stack of books, and then drink tea goes with it. So we're making kind of I'm just putting a little anti-static pouch, take some of the stick off or cover up some of the stick. So I'm going to pop it up with my foam tape. And then there's this cute little teapot and a cup. And so I'm going to add that. And I'm going to put a little piece of foam underneath the teapot. and then add the cup on top of the teapot. So I can still get my picture underneath the books and the teapots. And I'm going to flip this around and put some more embellishments down, and then we're just about finished. As soon as I get all these on there, then we'll be ready to go. And so that's project 1. So just, if you haven't subscribed to me, please subscribe. And, I'd appreciate, giving me a thumbs up if you like it. And you can think of this as scrapping along with me. So if you get the project and you want somebody to kind of scrap with, I'm there for you. So thank you so much for watching. And there we go. There's the finished product. And really, except for, horizontal and vertical lines, I think it's really a beautiful project. So stay tuned for project 2 and 3. Bye. Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.